Last summer, millions of people tuned in to watch a hometown hero reclaim victory in a winner-take-all battle, leading a group that for years knew nothing but brutal losses. Wait. I'm not talking about LeBron James. I'm talking about the King of the North, not the King of the NBA East, Jon Snow.
The King in the North!
But it's understandable that you would get the two mixed up because Game of Thrones is exactly that, a game. And in this game,
you win or you die.
Okay, well, in professional sports, there's no trial by combat. But you get the idea. Game of Thrones unfolds just like live sports, pitting your favorite team against your enemies. You root for the Starks or the Lannisters, just like you would root for the Cavs or the Warriors. You wear their colors, you know their team mottos.
Lannister always pays his debts.
With fire and blood.
And winter is coming.
Tension ramps up as we get closer to the big battle at the end of the season that acts kind of like the show's championship bout.
There's definitely the set pieces that you remember from big seasons of Game of Thrones battles, like the Battle of Blackwater. Those are almost like championship games, especially as the season winds on. It feels like something like you're watching a Final Four game or you're watching a Stanley Cup match or watching a Super Bowl.
That's Chris Ryan from The Ringer, along with his colleague Andy Greenwald. They are the biggest Game of Thrones experts this side of George R.R. Martin.
Yes, it's true.
They host Talk the Thrones, now on Twitter.
We're here to talk about Game of Thrones.
It's almost like a post-game show. Think Inside the NBA, but with less Shaq and more dragons.
Where are my dragons?
Game of Thrones is the last water cooler show. It's one of those last shows that seems to have a central discussion around it where everybody wants to participate as soon as possible after the end of the episode. And so Talk the Thrones is there to basically be the clubhouse.
Talk the Thrones isn't the only post-show show. For example, Walking Dead, the ratings behemoth, where anything can also happen at any time, has its own talk show as well.
The service that we provide is that we help the casual fan and the more serious fan alike.
And like live sports, Game of Thrones dominates online chatter, which means spoilers are coming if you don't tune in when the game is happening.
Because otherwise you can't exist as a modern person in the world because someone on Twitter is going to ruin it for you and tell you exactly who died.
Over and over again, you've found that if you're watching the show late, you're really going to miss out on a lot.
So I can't immediately go online and mention that Jon Snow gets murdered. All right, I get it. You want to know nothing.
Nothing.
And if you're not a subscriber to HBO, there are also ways to watch the show, like, well, sports bars.
I feel certain shows really lend themselves to group watching environments and wanting to get to talk about the show, and there's a lot of emotions in the show, and it's not the type of show that you really want to watch by yourself.
And Professor Tom's isn't the only bar that does this. Other bars even post customer reactions that go viral online, and the clips do look awfully familiar.
They're emotional, they're very passionate, enthusiastic at times, get very depressed at times. It's a very similar level of passion that goes up and down throughout an episode of Game of Thrones versus a major sporting event.
You can watch the show anytime, but that enthusiasm and buzz, like a LeBron buzzer beater, will be gone faster than a Stark at a royal wedding.
How many Starks they got to behead before you figure it out?